Hello. In this video, I wanted to talk about drawing a drop of water on a sphere in multiple perspectives. So, a sphere is a simple object. It can be a bit difficult to really think about it as a 3D thing until you add certain lines to show the curvature of it. So I'm going to start off with drawing a sphere. And it may take me a couple tries to get this in a free-handed way. I want to give you a good sphere, so please bear with me. Let's do that one more time. Okay, I think that works. So to start off, I want to add a couple partial ellipses, and when I say partial ellipse, it's just something like that goes around the curvature of our sphere. The important thing to know is that a partial ellipse, like, you have to think of it in terms of 3D space. It's like a slice, and if it would be like straight on, it would look like a line. If you could think of a penny, like if you look at a penny front on, or like a coin, looks like that. But if you tilt it to the side, it'll look like a line. But I know it really looks like kind of like a line with a bit of thickness to it. You know, something like that, and it has like all these various lines that kind of are banding to it that go in different directions based on the curvature. So on our sphere, it's important to think of the various segments. Like, you could split up this sphere. You could split it up in a bunch of segments. I mean, you can probably do it, like, you could always make like another partial ellipse segment within our sphere. So I'm going to draw a couple. The other thing is I want to show you, like, as it turns, the partial ellipse gets a bit wider. The degree of the ellipse does. And I wanted to add a couple of these to kind of help hone in the point. I think I made that one a bit too large. It eventually gets a bit difficult, but I think keeping it to this is a good start. So now, when I think about a droplet of water, think of like, well, you know, like a teardrop. I mean, there are so many variations of water, but I think keeping it to like a simple teardrop shape like that is beneficial for this demonstration. So in the event, you know what, I think I should draw our teardrop in blue. Like, yeah, I think that's a good color. And I'll try to fill it in for you to really show you. I could draw all this in black, but I think doing it in a different color could help make it clear. So let's say your teardrop was like falling like flat on this line in our perspective. Well, in this event, you would have a certain symmetry with it, and it would be like perfect on both sides. I'm actually going to do this on another layer, just so I could switch back and forth. And the important thing, another important note that I forgot to mention was that like all these ellipses kind of show the curvature of the sphere, because our sphere sits in 3D space. You know, it has like three-dimensional qualities to it. It has a surface to kind of like, you know, you fall around a sphere. If you have any type of a sphere in your room, the only sphere that I have in my room is actually well, it's not a perfect sphere, but it's like the blue snowball microphone. that I use. I hope my audio quality is good, but it's to the side and it's a ball, and you know that like certain things are not going to sit on top of it because of its surface qualities. So if you had a droplet of water straight uh, on that like perspective, it would be like this, right? It's kind of like bubbling out towards you, and you could see all the sides. I mean, not sides, but you could see like the full teardrop shape. That's because it's like going straight on. Well, actually, you know what? I made a little error. So I would say if it teardrop is like right here, that's when you have that shape. But as you go up within the curvature of our teardrop, it kind of like bends around the curvature of the sphere. So let me fill that in real quick. Um, so like, if it, let's say your teardrop was like right here, as it's going, it may just look like you may not see the the other part. Well, you may see some of it, but it's kind of like falling back in that perspective. Let me do that again. So in this event, it's kind of like falling behind our sphere, or it's beginning to. Well, you know what? I think it would be better just to show it as like kind of like that. Because if you think about it like sitting on a sphere, it's receding behind here in 3D space. So like you begin to not be able to see the top half of like the droplet shape, because it's like it exists there, but it's like on the curvature of our sphere on the other side, and based on our viewing point, we really can't see it. I think another thing I should do is I should quickly draw. Oops, I should quickly draw the horizon line, which will represent eye level. About here. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so, above eye level, the way the drop moves, it could be a bit different. So let's say in the event we're looking at the bottom of the sphere, and it's kind of like going below. So it's kind of wrapping downwards in this case along the bottom of our sphere. So you could do a bunch of like in-betweens of the droplet, like here and here as well. I'm just trying to like exaggerate the main ones. So let's say you have one here, right? So as it's going on that curvature, there's going to be like a fatter side and there's going to be like a thinner side, because as this sphere, like as you rotate things around a sphere based on the perspective, things are going to get like a little bit smaller. And the other thing is thinking about the curvature of like the flat side. So it kind of like starts to look like that a bit. Because it's resting on the ball along the curvature for that, and like based on our eye level, we're kind of seeing this droplet of water in a different way. I think I should have like moved it over here, like about there. So if you were to think of it on the other side, it would just it would follow kind of like, it would be the same but just mirrored, like right about here. And as it exaggerates more, you're going to be seeing even less, or it's going to kind of look like there's like a flat side to it. I do recommend that you perhaps look at like a droplet on clear glass if you like leave it outside at night or something like that, and if you wait until it eventually hits like a dew point, you'll see that. And yeah, it's interesting because as it goes, you'll see that it becomes smaller, and like eventually it kind of looks like there's like a flat side to it. the water droplet, kind of like that. Because and it also looks like a bit curved, like this area right here. It's like kind of curved like that around the curvature of the sphere. And as it goes even further along the sphere, you may only see like a drop, and you can't even see all of it at this point because a lot of it is hidden behind that sphere. Like, it still exists on the other side. Like this drop, it just has to do with how you're viewing it. Like all of these are the same droplet. Like it's still like in that shape. But if you think of like that curvature, that's kind of how it's going. And these two droplets here, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to fit that in the same way. But it would follow the same thing, but just going the other way. And eventually you're just seeing like, I guess you can kind of think of it like a contact lens, but there would be a little point to it because it's a droplet of water, but it would just look like a drop as it's going along the end of that sphere. But yeah, those are the main things I wanted to talk about. I feel like if you were to like always look at this in like a different perspective, like perhaps here, it would probably follow the similar method, but you know, because the curvature is a bit more sudden come near the top, this droplet would look a bit more like that, I believe. And if there was one over here, it would follow like kind of like the flat side would kind of be like that. Well, I didn't make it exactly like the other one. But something about like that. Not exactly mimicked like I wanted to do with that one. I could have cloned it, but I didn't. But yeah, kind of like that. But yeah, those are the main things I wanted to cover about this. I've been thinking about making this video for a while now, and I'm really happy that I got around to making it. So if you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.